Welcome to the SWGC podcast. My name's Taylor.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andre.
I think today we're going to do a little bit better about explaining kind of how, the stuff that we're into and who we are more. I guess I go first. I'm a mostly PC gamer. Currently playing World of Warcraft, Star Wars The Old Republic. That's about it right now. I'm waiting on a lot of games. It's that time of year where November is coming close, and I think everybody's waiting for the end of the year. You know, all the games are going to come out right there in like November and December for Christmas, and I hate it. How about you, Ryan?
I am mostly a console player. Just recently got into PC gaming, enjoying it quite a bit. Also, really big into LARPing and tabletopping.
Oh goodness, I guess I played PC for a little while, moved to console. Now I'm into LARP and tabletop and board games, and still kind of verbing into the PC world.
Yeah, PC's always been a big stick for me. Like I started PC gaming back when the first Alien vs Predator game was out, and me and my older brother like ran a clan and did like that's the new thing now is like guilds and clans, and they fight and have competitions and stuff. I was doing that when I was like 9 years old. I was playing a Marine in Alien vs Predator. If I remember right, I was really good at it, but if I go back and try to play it now, I'm probably horrible.
I didn't get into PC gaming until I met you and your brother.
Yeah.
That was probably the first time I downloaded a real game on a PC.
Most games now, unless they're bought exclusively by Sony or Microsoft, well, if it's bought by Microsoft, most likely it's going to be on computer. But if it's a Sony exclusive, you almost never see it on a thing, which was surprising to me because No Man's Sky is now a PC game. It's also an Xbox game now. It was a PS4 exclusive. I don't know what happened, but it's not. But yeah, we're all LARPers.
It flunked so bad they're grasping at straws.
Yeah, if you listen to the last one, we're all LARPers.
Yeah, we're all LARPers. You can go back to the first podcast and hear all that. So today we're going to talk about Fallout 76. We're all really hyped for that. I think we've kind of gone up and down with the flow that most people have with the hype, because there was good news and there was bad news and there was good news and there was bad news.
I have not heard an ounce of bad news. I am so
Video.
hyped for that game.
So I'm really hyped because Fallout 4 was my first-person shooter. So this is like, I know, make fun of me now, but this is the first time I've really been into a game that's like that, so I'm really excited to do it again.
You remember your first-person shooter?
Halo 1.
First Halo?
Yep.
I want to say I think I can predate Halo to. I'm not sure if it was before that, but I think it was the original Medal of Honor.
And I'm the oldest,
I think that was before Halo 1. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it.
I mean, do you consider Duck Hunt a first-person shooter?
I even go with Duck Hunt. Yeah. I mean, it paved the way, man. You know, without Duck Hunt, we wouldn't have Halo. We wouldn't have Call of Duty. I'm not a Call of Duty fan, by the way.
The only one I've enjoyed so far is World War II.
You like World War II? I think I went to your house and played a little bit of it.
I like watching him play it.
Yeah, watching it. Well, I just died a lot.
It had a really good story.
This is a good storyline?
Yeah.
Well, like that's what I'll play when GameFly was still a big thing. I mean, they're still out there. But when GameFly was a big thing, like I would get the Call of Duty games and just play the story and then send it back. Because I wasn't into a multiplayer thing at that time. Plus I suck. But I'm not the best when it comes to shooters. Like I have a bad time of like noticing the smallest differences in like staring at a screen, especially now that I have like a big screen TV. And so like I'll be running and someone will pop up out of the side and I just won't notice it, and they just shoot me in the back. But we'll get on to Fallout 76. So Fallout 76 is going to be a prequel. Right?
Yes, it's gonna predate the rest of the games.
25 years after you're out of the vault, which has some questioning because you were supposed to come out after 20 years when you went into a vault. So there's a question on where that 5-year gap is.
Yeah, so it's 25 years after the bombs dropped.
Yeah.
There's all the theories of why the bombs dropped, but it'll be 25 years West Virginia, which is weird to me because this will be the first place where we're like with Fallout, not Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, we're basically in a desert.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't much around. It's very barren. So I guess that would have been easy to make.
Yeah.
It was still a good game.
76 it's very green compared to the rest of the Fallouts.
Well, I saw the what was the company that did the documentary on the making of 76?
No Clip has a very, very good video documentary that they did where they followed Bethesda around. I believe it was for a week. They have a video up before the E3 release, and then another video exclusively talking about 76 from after the E3 release.
Well, I remember one of the developers or programmers said that when they were making the other games, like they could never use that color. They could never use green because everything was dead. But they're also, those games are all based like 200, 250 years after the bombs dropped. So everything's dead from radiation, I guess, after that point. So it's going to be really interesting to see that. Plus, I want to say the creatures they said are they're going to have all the creatures in the past games are going to be in it, and then they're going to have all these new creatures, and it's just like I saw a video of giant sloth creature like walking around.
Yep.
How that showed up in West Virginia, I want to know.
That one seems to be one of the ones that isn't based off of the folklore. It looks like there's 4 for sure. That is going to be the Wendigos, which are the golem-looking creatures with the really long claws and the pot belly.
Was that? I think that's the one that they showed off in the comic, right? It looks really weird.
No, that's
looking.
the one that has no head.
Oh, it has no
that's
head?
also based off of Virginia folklore.
Oh.
That's going to be your Grafton monster.
Oh.
And then there's the Snallygaster, that is also folklore. And then the Flatwoods monster. So there's 4.
I'm gonna cut to the super interesting one, which is the Mothman. Mothman is a big time West Virginia folklore, which from what I heard in that No Clip documentary is that he's going to follow you.
Yeah, they have stated that throughout the game, he's going to take on multiple forms. I think it's up to 4 forms that you could possibly see him in. There's going to be a fight form, a stalking form. So if you don't know what you're looking for, you could see Mothman and not even realize it.
Well, I see that there was an image of him, like I'm thinking it's him, but it's him sitting in the darkness, and you just see those giant bug eyes. I'm really interested if what they're going to do, because I hope that they don't do what they did with the Machinist in Fallout 4. Was there? I want them to explain more, maybe of where he came from, and how. I mean, you can't ask. I know everyone's going to ask for everything from Bethesda because we always ask for everything from Bethesda because fuck yeah. Bethesda's just amazing, but. I'm really interested to see what it is. Yeah. Is it actually a man or a Mothman? Is it just some crazy radiation creature that kind of looks like Mothman? I want to see a little bit of backstory, but I'm also going to be super creeped out. Like when I'm walking through the forest during nighttime and I turn and Mothman is staring at me from the darkness.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see Bethesda's interpretation of a real-life folklore creature.
Yeah, they're stepping into territory that... especially with this being multiplayer and always online game, being said that you can do it by yourself, but you're going to have more fun with friends. I think it's up to 4 people is what you can do, I think.
I believe so.
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine you could still if you get enough people together, you could get 2 groups of 4 if you have enough, and just kind of all work together and decide not to kill each other. I think that's still a thing.
That's going to be a little hard, because Todd Howard said in the E3 release that there's only going to be dozens of people in a server, whereas most games have hundreds to even thousands of people in a server.
Yeah, you're not looking at like Warcraft, where there's hundreds of zones now in Warcraft, and then you have upwards of 200 to 300 people per zone in the game at the same time.
But if you happen to get enough people on one server, it
Yeah.
just means the other people are a little less lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people out there who will figure out a way to make sure that two groups can get on the same server.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't doubt that there'd be a way to get private servers, stuff like that. Somewhere, I think servers are going to sit somewhere between like 20 and 30 players per server, which I thought made me kind of nervous at the beginning before they explained more when they said that, because I was like, well, if there's 30 something people, and I'm thinking Fallout 4, you know, even if it's only 30 people, like, you wouldn't see people all the time in the Fallout 4 map, but you'd run into them pretty often.
And this map's bigger.
But yeah, this map's, according to them, 4 times the size of Fallout 4.
It is massive in scope.
Yeah, so at that point, it's like, you might not see anybody for a while.
Yeah, they're saying it's possible to play for weeks without seeing another player.
Oh. So, and then they go on to the more of the player stuff. Is there's going to be no such thing as raiders. The raiders will be other players. If it's a human player, it's going to be a person, an actual person. It will not be an NPC. It will be like a non-player character.
Yeah, and I was worried about that to begin with, because in all of the other Fallout games, that's one of the biggest ways that you get your quests are from the human NPCs. And, you know, that worried me quite a bit. Well, is there going to be a questing system? Is it just going to strictly be survival PvP? Or, you know, how are they going to do it? But they have released and said that there is a questing system, but most of the quests will be given to you through either the robotics or, you know, messages in bottles and, you know, stuff like that.
You're
So
working
there
for the
will still be,
overseer.
yeah, there still will be a questing system.
I thought that was kind of weird too, but they because there's gonna be no humans, it was gonna be super hard to quest. But they also they're introducing a new there will be a band of ghouls that you'll be able to talk to in the game, which will be called the Scorched, I guess, from the nuclear blast. You'll run into them pretty often. Also, I'm curious about what these, if you watch the trailer, there was some like little buzzing around like robots and stuff, and there were some that were like on the ground that look like little animals. They're things. I'm wondering where those come from and how they tie into everything. But yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions, but that's also for the good. You know, you don't want to know what the game is completely before we get it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think beta opens up in October. I'm sure we'll find out much more about it come then.
I'm glad it's not a Rust clone completely. Rust being it's just an online building survival game. That there is going to be a quest system. There will be a story. Because us older people will be wanting to be able to play it. And not all of us will be on the same schedule, and we'll be wanting to see what that story is. Another thing I wanted to talk about it is the perk system, completely new.
Yeah. So apparently, the perks now are in forms of cards rather than a skill tree, and you can exchange your cards with other cards that you've earned. I don't know exactly how many you can have active at a time, but you can, you know, swap them out and have different ones active as you need them. But you can also trade them with other players in your party, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Make a tank.
Yeah. So you can basically, if I wanted to be the medic, or the crafter, and you pick up a crafting perk, you can give it to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. That'll just come down then to how many perks can I have? I guess I don't think that's anything that they've answered yet.
Yeah, and it'll probably be something based off your level, or, you know, something similar to that.
I know they've only shown a few of the perks too,
Yeah, I haven't
but
seen any.
they were all they were all different from anything that I see. I don't think we're going to see any mysterious stranger showing up, and if they do,
Yeah.
if the mysterious stranger shows up while I'm fighting another player and shoots me, I'm going to be pretty mad that I don't have that perk.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Everyone's going to be aiming for the mysterious stranger to find some more info because there's theories upon theories upon theories about who he is.
Yeah. Speaking of aiming, that is another point of concern. I know, especially for Andrea, is the VAT system and how that is
Yeah.
going to work with it being completely online. I know that they said in one of the documentaries that VATs will still be in Fallout 76, but unlike in previous games, it is not going to slow down time or even stop time. It will be real-time VATs.
Also heard that the fast travel will still exist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fast travel will still exist, but it'll also work like it did in Fallout 4. If there's enemies around, so if a player's shooting at you,
You're not moving
you
anywhere.
can't fast travel.
That makes sense. It's
Yeah.
interesting to see how they're going to do that, because just how you can build your own place now. Wherever you put it, it's where you're at until you move it. I know in Fallout 4 you could connect all your locations, all your shelters,
Yeah,
where
through
you
supply
could
lines.
you could share all your supplies. Is that going to be something you can do here, or is that just going to be too big with there being a multiplayer?
Well, I also heard, so say if us three build a settlement and we put it somewhere, the next time we log into the game, if for any reason it can't spawn there again, it will appear into our inventory and we can place it somewhere else. So if we come into a server and someone has also built a base there, if they're already there when we spawn in, then it will the camp thing that they have, the way that we build it, it will appear in our inventory and we can leave and go put it somewhere else.
Okay.
That'll be interesting too if you're on a different server every time you play, or if us three save a game, are we going to pop up on the same server?
Well, I think it's going to save
Yeah, I'm pretty
to
sure it's going
Bethesda's cloud, so we won't really, there will be no
Got it.
save function.
Yeah, I think they're going to do it like most other online RPG
Yeah,
style
constantly
games.
being saved to the cloud. Sorry for my squeaky chair. But the parts of the map that apparently some of the people in like Reddit and stuff like that have put a map together of pictures that they've found, and it is very diverse.
Well, you see a very, very small, or not really small, but very short glimpse of the map
Yeah.
during the E3 showcase. Todd Howard talks about one of the special editions that you can buy comes with a glow-in-the-dark map, and they briefly show it.
If I'm looking at the map right now, and one of the, I know that they were, when I was watching beforehand, there was Vault 63
So it's
is
gonna
going to be
vault.
there, so there will be another vault. One of the questions is will we be able to go to that vault?
Yeah, that's interesting to consider.
Can we go to that vault and build our base inside of it?
It's looking
Yeah,
like
because
there's-
in all previous Fallout games, you've been able to explore other vaults. It'd
That's
be
a-
interesting to see what's in the vault, because you're supposed to be the first ones to exit. So, if you are allowed to go in there, what are you going to find in there?
Maybe it'll be
Or-
the time lapse. There's that extra 5 years that you're waking up. I mean, in the
As far as-
E3 trailer, you're waking up to an empty room. There's no one else in your vault. Everyone else has already left. You only see a handyman.
Oh, another thing too is if you make your character at the same time someone else makes your character, you wake up in the vault right next to them, and you can't attack each other until so far away from the vault, is what they said. So you're not going to be able to build your base close to Vault 76. You'll have to, before you can even engage in player versus player content, you would have to be so far from it in order to do it. So you're not going to have anybody that's scared of new player camping. You
Yeah.
walk out of the front door and you immediately get shot. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's one of Bethesda's ways that they're trying to keep down griefing, because that was one thing a lot of people were worried about.
Another part of the scariness that everyone was trying to figure out was the nuke. There will be a nuke. There will be an actual nuke, not a handheld one, actual you can launch one and pick a place on the map to shoot it.
I'm interested to see how far it'll go. The map's so large, I can't imagine you can shoot it across the whole map.
Yes, you actually will, according to everything they've said, but it is going to be
Ridiculous.
extremely hard to get the codes. So to get the code, I believe there's 6 different codes you have to get to be able to launch the nuke.
Which can come off of any body, from what I saw. Because in
Yeah.
the trailer, or when they were trying to explain it, they got one off of like a rad roach, and then the next one they got it off of like a random super mutant.
Yeah.
So, but there's all sorts of random places that are on this map. What they said in the No Clip documentary was they literally drove around West Virginia, and supposedly this map is supposed to encompass all of West Virginia.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There's like 6 different little areas on this map of different types of landscapes. It'll be interesting to see, one, what's going to be in these different areas. They're different colors. You've got the forest, the savage. The savage looks like a desert almost.
Yeah, Savage Divide.
So it's just hard to imagine the graphics we're going to see between the areas, let alone what creatures might show up in different ones.
Yeah, like the ash. I think it was the ash heap.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ash heap looks pretty interesting.
Well, so they released more about we were talking about the nuke. They released more on what the purpose of it was. The purpose of it is for you to nuke an area, and then you go there, and now these rare monsters appear, and you can kill them and get better items. That's the point of it. It's not meant for griefing. And then, since it's so hard to get, it's not something. It may be something that you don't see on a very. It'll be a very rare occasion if you do see it. But if it does happen to get hit your base or get targeted on your base, from what they said, it will damage the buildings in your settlement, which are easily repaired. So it's not. It's if they're griefing you that way, they are wasting their time and valuable income to do so, because you can fix it very easily from what they just did.
Yeah, it's not going to completely destroy your camp.
Well, another thing is that you also get a notification that it's happening before it hits you. I don't know how long you get notified before it happens, but you get notified. They also talked about you will always see other players on the map. How do you feel about that?
I don't know how I feel about that yet, and I know Bethesda said that they're looking into that. That may change in the future. It's just something they want to try. I know they said that once you crouch and go stealth, your dot will disappear from the map. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the idea that the only way I'm going to be able to get a drop on another settlement is by stealthing. I'm not going to be able to just...
How long is it going
come
to take
in.
for you to stealth all the way to them when you're walking that slow?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to just come in, guns blazing, and take them
Yeah.
by surprise.
They
which
saw
would be
you
fun.
10 minutes ago on the
I
map.
don't know about that. You like your sneaky characters.
I do, but...
I don't. I just go balls to the wall.
Exactly, so it's going to be a lot harder
For me.
for you to take on another settlement because they're going to be able to see you coming.
Yeah, they check the map, and all of a sudden they just see this whatever color dot coming towards their settlement, and they're going, okay, guys, time to prep up. We know what direction they're coming and when they're going to be here.
Yeah.
So that I don't like it, but like you said, Bethesda is always saying that it's subject to change. I know that they said that they will be constantly updating this game. They may put some DLC out for it They may not. They're not sure. But everything that's gonna change for the game will be completely based off of what the community says. So if you have an issue, tell Bethesda.
Well, everything that I've heard has said they do already have DLCs planned. One of the things that they're doing with 76 is all DLCs will be free.
Oh,
Yeah, they you won't have to buy a season pass. You won't have to buy each DLC as it comes out. They'll be completely free as long as you own the game.
well, other game studios, take note of Bethesda, please.
Yeah.
I'm tired of buying expansions. More often than not, I don't buy your games because I'm not buying all of your expansions and DLC.
We usually get the season pass, but the more and more season passes are becoming popular, they're getting to the point where they're just as damn expensive as the game itself.
Yeah. I've seen some 30 some odd dollar season passes before.
I think
beat that.
yeah.
One we just bought was, I think, $45.
Yeah, the season pass for Ark is like $45
A piece.
Ooh, so y'all double bought it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because it's a multiplayer game as well, and
Oh.
we want to play it together.
yeah. I know y'all just got a second Xbox so that you two can start playing more often together. I'm not going to comment on my preferred console. I don't need all the hate mail. But more I'm a PC master race. All day, every day. I have a lot of money invested in my PC. If I don't say that, it'll hate me, and I feel like it'll shut down on me in the middle of my games.
Yeah, let's not have it do that.
No.
We've all spent quite a bit of money. We all went and got our own gaming computers, so
Yeah.
we're invested at this point.
Yeah. The problem is it's a lot of remakes of the same things right now. It's a lot of battle royale because of PUBG. So everyone needs to make the same thing. So you go through those phases, I guess, in the gaming community.
Yeah. The next innovative thing to come out,
We'll have 20 copies.
everybody wants to jump on it as soon as possible.
So it's going to be multiplayer. Is it console? Can you cross console and cross computers, or have they not?
For 76?
Yeah.
I don't. Well, so a lot of the cross chronicles or cross console and other stuff. A lot of the stuff that's going on with that is they have issues with Sony. Sony is not wanting to play along with everyone else. I think they made a comment about they couldn't do it for some reason, but they did it with another game. But I know a lot of Rocket League is a cross consoles and whatnot. But everyone's pushing the Sony and Microsoft to do stuff like that.
Yeah, there's I can't remember what game it was, and maybe one of the Elder Scrolls games coming out. But Bethesda said that one of theirs will be full cross-platform gaming. So I believe they're making strides in getting through to Sony.
What are you going to buy it on, a console or your computer?
Well, that's going to be something that I'm going to have to watch and see what my friends do.
He's going to buy 2 copies.
I'm going to end up buying 2 copies.
We've talked about it, especially since we've got Jet who wants to play as well, so.
Yeah.
Kiddo wanting to play, 3 of us, 3 Xboxes.
Well, yeah, I know his video game addiction, as far as my memory goes back, started at Skyrim, wasn't it?
Yes.
He's been into video games ever since he figured out how to work a controller. But the day I decided to let him play Skyrim, from then on, he was hooked. Just very recently have I been confident enough to let him play Fallout, because it's a little raunchier of a game, but he loves Fallout just as much as we do.
So one of the things that I just read was with Fallout 76 is that there will be no mods at the start. There will be no mods at the start. Bethesda does plan to incorporate mods. Is mods something that you guys use a lot?
No, I
Despise them.
won't say I despise
I
them.
despise them.
Why do you despise mods?
You are not getting the effect of the game intended by the creators if you are adding mods. I also see our kid who just adds every ridiculous mod in the entire world. One, bogging down the system, and two, whenever I go in, I have to turn it off. And three, he's so OP that he doesn't even know what he's doing. He's not getting the gameplay. He's
not experiencing the game.
Right. He's just getting, oh, I can shoot these things. And that's not why you play video games. Always.
See, I think that's where I'm indifferent with mods. I agree with her that with mods, you're not... I mean, the developers and everyone who works on these games, they put a lot of time and effort to put out this finished product just for you to turn around and mess with it. And I understand there's a lot of creative minds out there who, you know, might want to make this better or might want to make this better. And my thing is just to give the game a playthrough in its intended state, and then you can mod to your heart's content.
Well, I remember there was a mod. There's some of the mods are just visual. Like, I can understand just visual mods.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was one that I saw that all it did was it kind of filled in some gaps where stuff wasn't in Fallout 4. Made some more, like, vegetation and stuff. Made the world more full. And then there was one that all it did was it changed the color of the pavement of the roads. The roads went from gray to black. And a lot of people are arguing on the forums whether this would make sense or not, because 200 years have passed, they wouldn't be black anymore. The sun would bleach them, all this other stuff. So,
I mean, they're not wrong. If you looked at Georgia roads,
yeah, you're not wrong. Another thing that Bethesda said with this is for anybody that's not going to play Fallout 76 and are just kind of listening, just testing the waters here about it and thinking back and forth, is that you don't have to worry, because this what's his name, Todd Howard said at Bethesda, this does not mark the future for Bethesda. This is just something that they wanted to play with and make a multiplayer game. It doesn't mean that every single one of their future games will be multiplayer, because I know that they've got they announced Elder Scrolls 6, they announced Starfield, which no one knows anything about. It's a brand new IP.
Yeah, they have the Elder Scrolls Blades coming out, which I believe it's a mobile game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it'll actually be a mobile multiplayer game.
I like the game. I feel like I'm going to be nervous going into the game as a single player at first. Because while for Fallout 4, that's kind of the norm, here there's going to be people that are better at this type of game that I'm going to feel like I have a lag behind because it is multiplayer. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's like a quest line you can play without really hitting anyone else, or if it's... I know there are the quest lines, but how interactive is it going to be with everybody else trying to go to the same quest line at the beginning? Or do you basically need to run in a group?
Well, Todd Howard said that it is playable single player. Obviously, everything is scaled for groups because it is multiplayer, so it's going to be a little more difficult if you're playing by yourself. But like we said earlier, the map is 4 times larger than Fallout 4, and there's only going to be, I think, a maximum of 32 players at a time in a server. So, and you can see when they're coming at you. Yeah. So, chances of you actually having to PvP if you don't want to are pretty slim.
And I guess another thing that we were talking about PvP earlier is that PvP will not be... PvP is encouraged but not encouraged at the same time. So basically, if you die, you can't be looted. You can't lose your stuff. You don't lose any progression. So I think that will make a lot of people feel better, because I know somebody like you, Andrea, if you're getting constantly murdered and all your stuff taken from you, you're just going to put the game down.
Yep.
Also, another thing I believe they said was, if a player does grief you and is, or not even just griefs you, but a player is just solely intent on going around PvPing and murdering everyone, there will actually be a bounty that is placed on their heads. And everyone else on the server will know that there's a bounty on this person's head, and you'll get cool stuff for killing that griefer.
No, so then you might be able to loot whatever that cool thing is, or just get a bunch of caps. I saw too that for your settlements, you'll be able to actually open up stores.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that too. That seems pretty interesting.
But
You
who's
could,
gonna
you could
run
literally
them?
just set up a community hub of stores and sell stuff.
Yeah, you can place little signs out saying store and with a
This
little
way.
arrow.
Just beware of the fake stores.
Yeah. Go to a store and take a mini nuke to the face.
Yeah, that is not suggested, and I will happen to me several times because I'm gullible.
Me too. Because I love ammunition.
That'll just make me smile afterwards, but still. I'm also interested, if you die, where are you going to spawn back at your base, or spawn back at the vault, or what?
Maybe the last place you slept.
Meh, could be it.
A lot of people don't sleep in this game.
But I know I know a lot of people will not be sleeping when it comes out.
Well,
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, I'm currently about, what is it? It's the 6th. On the 14th, World of Warcraft comes out, the new expansion, and I'm part of a community that has over 100,000 people that talk about it constantly, and they're all saying, "Oh, yep, taking all that entire week off." And I don't have that. I just can't, as an adult, dedicate that time
Yeah.
to a game anymore.
Completely understand.
I mean, if I lived off this podcast, then maybe. But then I could say it's for work.
Yeah.
But yeah, beta is going to be in October. It's going to release in November. They said that the Xbox beta keys were going to roll out first, then PlayStation, then computer. I wonder if I were Bethesda and I was making this beta, because what do they call it? Break it early, testing access, or something like that is what they called it.
Yeah, I think so.
Break it early.
Well, I think the goal is to not let everybody with beta all at once. From what I was reading about it, they're going to kind of slowly immerse people in. They're going to kind of toss a handful. All right, well, a handful's handling it fine. Let's toss 2, and then keep going until it's large enough that they do break it,
Oh.
and then fix it.
Yeah, my luck too is that every time I leave my settlement, I'm just going to run into a group of 4 players in power armor. That is going to be my luck, or I'm just never going to find the things that I need. But that's also the fun of it all. I hope that it's not something that I can speed run very easily. You know, get a bunch of stuff, build this giant settlement, and get like cool items very quickly. I want it to be kind of a grind.
Yeah, that's one of the things I enjoyed about Fallout 4. I don't even know how many hours I have in that game. And
A lot.
I still haven't even finished the main storyline.
I replayed it here recently, and I played through all of the DLCs except Nuka World.
I still haven't even been to parts of the map on my character, and I have hours upon hours.
So see,
upon
that was
days.
another thing that I wanted to talk about there. We talked briefly about the map size, and I have Fallout 4 on PC and I have it on console, and combined all my save games together, I probably got a couple of 100 hours into the game. But every time I play that game, I end up somewhere I've never been.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or something I haven't seen. Or I'll be talking like we are now, and you'll be like, well, have you played this quest? What? I've never been there. What are you talking about? Like the Ahab quest, where you're up in the there's a robot sitting in a ship that's on top of a building, and they're asking for help to get to the ocean,
Yeah, that's where you get the broadsider.
Yeah. I had heard about that way before I'd ever actually been there. Like, someone described to me where it was, and I probably still didn't see it for another year.
Yeah.
I just, not that I was playing the game constantly, but every time I played, I've never noticed that quest. I played through that entire game and beat the end of the game and was like level 50, and had never done that quest.
So a lot of that is because you pick who you're following in
Yeah.
Fallout 4. You have so many NPCs that have different plots and quests that you're going with. With this being such a new world, it's interesting to see if there's going to be as many of those sub-quest lines, or if it's going to be the main storyline and exploring.
Yeah, because they've already stated that groups like the Raiders and the Gunners and the Brotherhood of Steel,
The Minutemen even.
yeah, they don't exist.
Yeah, this has only been 20 years. Probably most of the vaults haven't opened yet.
So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of side quests you're going to have, because you don't have the factions that you can join or fight.
Okay. Well, I think we've been talking for about, I guess, almost 40 minutes now. Oh, yeah, 41 minutes
wow.
now. So I guess we'll end it there. My name's Taylor,
Ryan.
Andrea.
and this was the SWGC podcast. Thanks for listening to us, and please subscribe. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, folks.
Adios.